Hello and welcome to another episode of Spoil Your Appetite. My name is Tristan, and for this episode, I'm going to be talking about some old news along with the new news. So I'm talking Power Rangers, the first trailer, Young Justice finally gets Season 3, the DC CW shows. So far, what do I think about what's going on right now? The Logan trailer, Suicide Squad, Deathstroke in DC Cinematic Universe, Luke Cage, and Doctor Strange. So, I think first things first, I think I'll start with Luke Cage. So this was a show that I've been waiting eagerly for since we first got his introduction into Jessica Jones. And now that it's finally out, and you can binge it, I honestly, this is probably my favorite show so far of the whole Netflix Marvel universe, because of the fact that the standout for me of this show was just the environment itself, the people in it, and just feels so real and very great. And it's just blows my mind. Like at one point, you feel that this is like real, like it's just real. So, for example, whenever shit doesn't go down, like before shit starts hitting the fan and whatnot, just before that all goes down, it's so alive, so refreshing, so great. Performance-wise, everyone is just great. I love the guy that plays Luke Cage. Like, he was my favorite thing about Jessica Jones. And, yeah, I really enjoyed it. The villain, of course, again, he's great. Cottonmouth is great. And, midway through the first season, he does die, which kind of was a bummer. And then you get Diamondback. And, what I've noticed now, I think this is going to be a trending thing in these Marvel and Netflix. I mean, who knows if we're going to get a different kind of villain in Iron Fist. But so far of the villains that we've got, they all have, family issues, which is great and all. And that's what I feel like it's going to be. This is what it's going to be for the rest of at least for the first season because in the first season of these shows, second season of Daredevil, it wasn't really the main villain, which I cannot remember who was the main villain in season 2. Oh, the Hand, which was, again, season 2 was great. So who knows? So yeah, Luke Cage, loved it. I want more of it, of course, and can't wait for Iron Fist and Defenders. So, that being said, let's, DC CW shows so far. So, I'll start off with Arrow. No, wait, let me talk with Supergirl first. So we're going to go, Monday is Supergirl, Tuesday is The Flash, Wednesday is Arrow, and Thursday is the Legends of Tomorrow. So with Monday, Supergirl, Season 2, so far, I love it. I think it's slowly improving from last season, because with last season, I think overall Season 1 is okay-ish. There's definitely some great moments in it, but at the same time, it's one of those shows that feels like, at that time, it was trying to figure out what it wanted to be. And Season 2, while I don't feel it knows where it's going, I do feel like they know where they're going in Season 2, but I still kind of feel like they still haven't landed what they're trying to accomplish in Season 2. But with Season 2 so far, I honestly love it. We got 2 episodes of Superman being in the show, which is great. And honestly, it's so great. I honestly, it does remind me of classic Superman, Christopher Reeve Superman, all the way, which is great, which, I love seeing. I think it fit with the show, definitely. And I hope to see him in this crossover, this 4 epic crossover, which, if it doesn't happen, it's kind of like a missed opportunity. But yeah, season 2 so far I think is really great. I think it definitely belongs on the CW because, the guys that made Supergirl are the same guys that, made The Flash happen, Arrow happen, and DC's Legends of Tomorrow happen. So, Supergirl, while it's getting there, it's definitely an improvement, like an improvement from season 1. Yeah, I'm so far enjoying it, even though there are some things and some episodes, I don't think all of it is great overall. There are some problems with it, like in the recent episode, Alex Danvers they're giving her a love interest, and I feel it's way too damn soon. Like, I would love to see them do what they did with Barry and Iris in season 2, and kind of in season 1, where in season 1 of The Flash, Barry loves Iris and whatnot, and then they kind of tone it back in season 2, and they don't really mention it at all. They don't really mention that Barry still, well, he does love Iris, obviously, but at the end of it, it's not rushing into it yet. So, that's what I'm kind of wanting from this whole, Alex Danvers is getting a love interest. I would love to see, that not to happen so soon. I would love for them to play it out, which it kind of feels like it. I think they are gonna let that chemistry build and whatnot, and then finally she'll be in this relationship with that detective. So, Supergirl, I love the actress that plays Supergirl. I think she's great. I am kind of getting tired of her, still feeling like she can't really stand up for herself. Like, I'm kind of waiting for her as Kara to, stand up for herself and not being stepped over. Like, when she becomes a reporter, she's kind of having a difficult time, and I would love for them just to, kind of write her in a way that's, she needs to stand up for herself and whatnot, kind of getting tired of that stuff and whatnot. So, yeah, overall, Supergirl, it's so far, it's improving, even with the minor issues I have with it. So, Tuesdays, The Flash. So far, we're in season 3, it's pretty crazy, and so far, I'm loving every episode. So far, I'm loving everything that I see. I love that, they gave us Flashpoint, even though I would have loved to see them, not do one episode, but just kind of, played it out. I wish they could have just, not picked up after where we left off, but, 3 months later, and then we have more Flashpoint episodes, because I kind of want to see more of that, and, that kind of sucks, and I didn't want to see, I would love to see, her, if it ever happened, I would love to hear, some references of, who's the Green Arrow in Flashpoint, who does Supergirl exist in that world, even though I don't think that would be the case, but, yeah, stuff like that, where I wish, what's new and different, what all has changed and whatnot. So, sorry about that. Okay, so The Flash is, so far, it's going great. I'm loving this. I am kind of worried that they're going to they're going to have Tom Felton be Alchemy. They're going to be, he's Alchemy, and that's what I'm kind of afraid of. I honestly don't want to see that. I don't want this whole, who's the villain, and da-da-da, who's underneath that mask, and they did with season 2 of The Flash, where, the guy that supposedly played Garrick was actually Zoom, and, I hope that's not what they're going to do with this season, because it is kind of I don't want this retrending again. It's just just move away from that, and I'll be fine with it. But again, I really hope Tom Felton is is not the villain. I hope he's sort of like, what's his face from season 1? Eddie Thawne. Like in Eddie Thawne, he wasn't really the Reverse Flash that some people thought he was going to be, the Reverse Flash, but he wasn't. And then later on, dies and at the end of season 1. So I kind of feel like Tom Felton can be that. Like, I'm really hoping he's not the villain, Alchemy, in season 3. And, you know, honestly, I would love if he was, like, a series regular now. That'd be great. So far, I'm loving everything that I see, even though, you know, Jesse Quick, we see Jesse Quick have her speed and whatnot, and then Wally doesn't have his speed. That episode kind of bugged me, because there was so much whining in that episode where, you know, they're training Jesse Quick with her powers, and Wally's all, like, upset and whatnot. That episode was just my least favorite. Like, all that whining and stuff, just so... I was just like, am I watching an episode of a bad episode of Arrow? Because that's what it felt like. So with that being said, but other than that, The Flash so far is great. I love it. I'm loving everything that I'm seeing, even though I would have loved to have them play, you know, Flashpoint episodes, like, at least, like, I don't know, 5 more episodes, and then, you know, he goes back and changes the timeline again. And that was the other thing I loved, like, when he goes back and changes Flashpoint and whatnot, well, Reverse Flash helps him change puts everything back, even though everything is not back to normal. And I love the fact that in the next episode, he wants to change it again to make it perfect. And I love how Jake Garrick just pulls him out and sets him up straight of, like, you know, no matter how many times you change it, there's always going to be something different. Like, you cannot do this anymore. It's never going to go back. You just need to deal with what you got right now. So that was a cool moment. So, yeah, The Flash. Overall, it's still my favorite of the DC CW shows. So now we got Wednesday nights with Arrow. Honestly, I love this season so far. It very much feels like season 1. Very much like season 1. And they're just like, it's so great. It feels like classical Arrow again, where, you know, we had Olicity, and for me, Olicity, it kind of worked, but then when they played it out so much, I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And, you know, Felicity at one point, I think it was last season, where, you know, Oliver has a kid and whatnot, and he learns this, and he's just like, he can't tell anyone about it, because the mother of his child does not want anyone to know about it. And she basically told him, don't tell anyone, or you're never going to see your son again. And then, I forget how she found out, I forget how Felicity found out, and then she was just totally, like, not okay with it. And I was just like, honestly, if, like, no, that so wouldn't really happen. I think she would have understood where he was coming from and not been so, like, all pissy and whatnot. And yeah, last season was okay. Would I say it was an improvement from season 3? In some areas, yes, but yeah, overall, season 4 was okay. Season 3 was just depressing as hell. Like, there was no enjoyment out of it. Like, there was some stuff I liked about it, but overall, season 3 of Arrow was just fucking depressing as hell. But we're talking about season 5. Honestly, I love season 5. I love the new recruits. I love everything that's going right now. They're forgetting about Olicity, and they hardly bring it up, and that's great. And yeah, Arrow, like, wow, like, it's really back in a good way. So Arrow is great. I can't wait to see who this Prometheus guy, like, oh yeah, that's another thing. If you've seen the latest episode, Prometheus is apparently killing everyone that that Oliver's dad, all the people that Oliver's dad wrote in that little book in season 1. And that's so awesome. So now I'm like, who is this guy? Like, I have a theory that it's probably someone we haven't met, but I feel like it's got to be one of the people that worked with Oliver's dad. I feel like it's got to be one of those people. Or it could be someone that we already met, like Malcolm Merlyn. Like that, I'm not ruling that out. But then again, that would bring up questions as to why he's wanting to do that and stuff. So, and I love how at the end of the season, the end of the episode, they're saying they left it up to, like, it's probably Lance that's Prometheus. I'm just like, yeah, no, I don't buy that at all. There's no way in hell he's Prometheus. But who knows, honestly. So yeah, Thursdays, DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Now, I feel this is like my second favorite DC CW show because it deals with time travel. And it's fun. It's so much fun. And it's just great. So, Season 2 of Legends of Tomorrow, I'm really digging it. I really love it. I think it's a big improvement with, from Season 1. And Season 1 dealt with Vandal Savage, which I felt like he could have been handled betterly. I don't know, like, the actor that played Vandal Savage, he very much looked like the character so much so that, yeah. But I think my one big gripe with Vandal Savage in Season 1 was, I think, just the performance, like, just the way the actor was losing my words, but the way he was pronouncing, given his lines and whatnot, the way he was saying them, that just kind of bugged me and whatnot. I just didn't feel like Vandal Savage, but the things he was doing very much felt like Vandal Savage. And in Season 2, I love that they had to fix, time itself. Like, they had to go on these missions, and, there's no really a bad guy or whatever. They had to fix whatever happens to the timeline. And so far, I'm loving what I've seen. I love that they brought in the Justice Society of America. Just so great. So amazing. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling about the DC CW shows. So what else did I say I wanted to talk about? Not going to get to the reviews yet of Suicide Squad or Doctor Strange. Oh, Deathstroke being in the DC Cinematic Universe. Honestly, I don't think you could have picked a better villain. I mean, before I heard that they were going to bring Deathstroke into this, I was kind of wanting to see them bring in either Thomas Elliott, a.k.a. Hush, or Mr. Freeze, a.k.a. Victor Freeze. Because, I have my gripes with Gotham. Like, I'm never going to watch Gotham, but I was curious to see how they handled Mr. Freeze on that show, and honestly, they were not bad. They were pretty good, but I am kind of bummed that at the end of those episodes, he is just a villain. Like, he's not a conflicted villain, because if you've seen Gotham with those episodes, his wife dies, and they just kind of set him up as a straight up villain with no confliction and whatnot. So yeah, anyways, Deathstroke being in the DC Cinematic Universe, it's great. I really hope that they don't kill him off, because that's my kind of big deal with superhero movies, is that, you have, like, I get it when it comes to these big, giant, enormous gods and these powerful villains and whatnot, but we're talking about, just your standard, regular villains who don't really have powers, or, just don't have powers, there's no reason why you should get rid of them. There's no reason why you should kill them off and whatnot. So, Deathstroke in the DC Cinematic Universe, I'm ready. It makes total sense, because the Batman we have now in the DC Cinematic Universe will wreck anyone, and so I feel Deathstroke is a great match. So yeah, I love the actor they got, even though I've never seen him in anything. But yeah, he looks big and he looks like he'll make a good Deathstroke. So, what else? Logan trailer. Guys, this one killed me. I was not prepared to have so many emotions running through when I saw the Logan trailer. I very much got Unforgiven vibes from it. And that's why I love the trailer so much. So deep and emotional, and this is like the last time we'll see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to see this, and the fact that they have Professor X in it, Patrick Stewart as Professor X, wonderful. I love it. Love what I'm seeing. Can't wait to see the rated R content come in, even though we've got like just a short glimpse of it, of Wolverine popping his claws into someone's head, and you actually see the claws coming out of the guy's head, and there's some blood on the tips. It's just like, oh, this is going to be good. So yeah, I'm definitely ready for this Logan thing, even though I'm probably going to be a wreck after seeing it, because, again, it's his last time as Wolverine. So, speaking of trailers, how about that Power Rangers trailer? Yeah, I recently watched it, I think 3 days ago, because the first time I watched it, I wasn't all too thrilled about it. I wasn't really, my problem with the trailer is I was kind of hoping for an Avengers type fun kind of movie. Like, I obviously don't want it to be like the TV show where it's goofy and, ridiculous, but I was kind of hoping for a Marvel-esque like movie from the Power Rangers, this new Power Rangers movie. So, but I recently watched it, and I'm still not thrilled with it, but I did kind of enjoy it more. But yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe this, like I said on my Twitter, I think, even though I'm not thrilled about this tone that they're going with, I'm sure it'll grow on me. I did love the Rita Repulsa thing at the end of the trailer, where she's like, I've killed Rangers before. And it's like, oh, that's awesome. So now there's history. So there was Rangers before the Rangers we see in the movie. So that's interesting. So yeah, I mean, Power Rangers, I'm still gonna see it. Like, I love the costumes. I mean, yeah, I love the costumes, even though they're like Iron Man-esque like suits, but I think it's perfect. I think it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, what else can I say? I really hope it's good. I mean, I'm sure, like I said, this tone thing where it's like very grim and such, I'm sure it'll grow on me. But for now, I'm just like, I don't like the tone. But who knows? We'll see. So, Young Justice Season 3. That happened, and boy, when I heard that made my day. Holy shit. I cannot believe we're getting Young Justice Season 3. Because it never made any sense why they wouldn't make a Season 3. Like, when it got canceled. Well, first off, I got into Young Justice late in the game. But luckily, I watched everything, and honestly, I love it. It's very much like Teen Titans. But it's for, it's basically for those who grew up watching Teen Titans and wanted some kind of a new, younger Teen Titans show. And this one, I feel, that's just for us, for who grew up with the Teen Titans show. So, yeah, I got into it late in the game. I love everything about it. And yeah, it kind of blew my mind that there wasn't a Season 3, because Season 2 leaves off with showing Darkseid. And it's like, you guys did not just cancel this show right when you showed Darkseid. Like, that made no sense at all. Like, oh my god, I cannot wait to see what they do with that. Like, having the Young Justice team go and team up with the Justice League and take on Darkseid, and oh, I cannot wait. Of the Young Justice team, my favorite is Aqualad. I love Aqualad, especially like in season 2, like where he pretends to be the villain, and you believe it, and whatnot, and just I love Aqualad, and yeah, it was confusing when I started the show. You know, it ended. I finished season 1. I jumped into season 2. And boy, was I confused as hell. Like, I hope in season 3 they don't have that kind of time jump with it again. Like, they don't go 5 years later and then there's all this history that we didn't see and whatnot. I really hope they don't do that, because that'll be confusing again. Because I was really lost when I got to season 2. So yeah, Young Justice season 3, bring it. I'm all about it. I can't wait to see what they do. And it kind of makes me wonder, is it going to be on Cartoon Network or will it be on Netflix? I gotta imagine it's going to be on Cartoon Network. But yeah, Young Justice Season 3. Bring it. Alrighty. Let's get down to the appetizer, if you will. Oh, that's great. I'm going to have that. Yep. Alright. I think I'm going to keep that later. Hopefully I remember that later on in the other episodes when it comes to reviewing movies. So, let's get down to the appetizer, shall we? Alrighty. Let me talk about Suicide Squad, since it came out 3 months ago. So I'm going to read my review that I wrote on my Tumblr, and because I think I put it best in what I wrote on my Tumblr. So if I could just pull it up. Alrighty, just give me a second. But yeah, I will. This is what. Oh, come on, Tumblr, come on, man. Oh wow, okay. Technical difficulties, y'all. Like, come on, what the hell? Okay. Alright, give me a second. I'll probably edit this out. Probably won't. Nah, probably won't. Oh, come on. So yeah, I mean, if you want to follow me on my social media, you can follow my Tumblr. It's, you just type in Alexander Thorpe. Yeah, you just type in Alexander Thorpe, and you'll find it. What the hell? Come on. I just had it on my phone, too. Okay, there we go. Okay, so if you want to follow my Tumblr, Alexander Thorpe. If you want to find my Twitter, it's the same as my Tumblr, Alexander Thorpe. And if you want to follow my Instagram, Alexander Thorpe. Okay, so let me pull it up, my review. Okay, here we go. So, this is my review / spoil review for Suicide Squad that so my Suicide Squad, my overall thoughts. So this is from what I wrote on my Tumblr. So here we go. So if you couldn't tell, which how could you not, I'm a comic book geek, whether it's DC or Marvel. I love it all, just give me a good story. As far as preference-wise, I'm a DC guy. So the fact that we've got a DC cinematic universe now, it's very exciting for me and other DC geeks. So here we are with the third DCCU movie, Suicide Squad. So what did I think? Honestly, overall I loved it. From the marketing, it was promising it was going to be a fun movie, and it honestly was, at least for me. From the characters to the story, it's enjoyable. I mean, if you know anything about Suicide Squad, it's a pretty simple concept. So the story could be anything. So, what specifically did I like about Suicide Squad? First, the story. As I said, it's a pretty simple concept when it comes to Suicide Squad. And yes, I did enjoy the subplot with the Joker, even though it wasn't much. With the Joker wasn't much, but I liked it. So, with the subplot, real quick, the subplot is, of course, anyone who's seen Suicide Squad, it's very much the Joker rescuing Harley Quinn. So yeah, that's what I mean by there. Okay, getting back to my review on my Tumblr, Another thing I liked was the performances slash characters from Deadshot to Katana. Everyone was fantastic, and yes, Margot Robbie crushes it as Harley Quinn. Not like I had any doubts. And the dynamic between Harley Quinn and the Joker was spot on. And, well, kind of wasn't spot on because they kind of twisted it in a way that Joker is in love with Harley Quinn, whereas in the comics he is not really invested in her like that. He just uses Harley Quinn basically. Anyways, I will say before the movie came out, I felt they were going to change one thing about Quinn, which was that she wasn't going to be crazy before she becomes full Quinn. Just had a feeling, but I was so wrong. So thank you, Air, for proving me wrong. Yeah, that was mind-blowing. Like, I remember seeing the trailers, and I just had that feeling, like, they're not going to make Harley Quinn crazy or whatever, are they? Because I really hope they do. But if not, I guess I see why. But, like I said, I had a feeling that they weren't going to do that, but they did. And, yeah, thank you, Air, David Ayer. As for Leto as the Joker, I really liked his interpretation, and for me, I felt there was plenty of Joker. But as usual, and this is the same problem I have with Heath Ledger's Joker, the clown element is missing. I mean, it's there somewhat, but not always. But it's okay, as long as the performance is good, I'm happy. So yeah, with every Joker, I think the best, that clown element you get from all the live-action Jokers, Nicholson just pretty much nails it. And Heath Ledger's Joker, it's there, just a few, but again, wasn't much, but I still loved his performance, and same goes with Leto. It was there, but not enough for me, so that's what I mean by there. I thought Deadshot was really on point as well. I'm so glad he wasn't the main focus, because when you have a big star like Will Smith, I can't help but get a bit nervous. Besides that, he's great. Yeah, that was great. I kind of wasn't really wanting a center, like, how the X-Men movies, for example. The X-Men movie, they're called the X-Men, but it's really mainly focused on Wolverine meeting the X-Men, and, it's very much like Wolverine and the X-Men. That's what they really should call those movies, but I still love them. Getting back to Suicide Squad, okay. I do gotta say, though, as cool as Deadshot's mask is, I can't help but to wonder why his mask is not able to protect his head. Why is the mask rubber? Yeah, that was... I remember seeing the costume. I remember seeing the mask for the first time, and I was thinking... Well, not really. Like, I kind of assumed that his mask would protect him. But in the movie, when he pulls it off, it's like... Oh, so it's not like metal or anything. That's kind of... That's weird. But alright, I mean... Alright, whatever. Anyways... Where was I? I mean, yeah, you want to keep your identity as a secret, and he's a master marksman. But still, if you're going to wear a mask that covers your whole head, why wouldn't you have one that can protect it as well? Not a big issue, but still, just curious. Captain Boomerang was fantastic. From the trailers, you knew this guy is very crazy, and I loved every moment he was on screen. Yeah. Like, I put it best in what I typed on here. Okay. Killer Croc was pretty awesome too, and I love the fact that it went with prosthetics for the character, and he looks phenomenal. Yes. It never once did I feel like, oh, he looks kind of weird in this scene or that scene. Like, the prosthetics were just great, and I'm so glad they didn't go with a CGI Killer Croc. Alrighty. And of course, how can I not talk about Batman, who's in it more than you'd think. I mean, they're quick scenes, but one I'm sure that'll stick out the most for everyone who sees this movie is the part where, minor spoiler, him and Deadshot meet. It's really quick, but so good, especially what Batman says to Deadshot. Like, talk about a moment that as a Batman, that as a fan, it leaves you saying, that's so Batman. So yeah, that was probably my favorite scene of Suicide Squad, where Batman captures Deadshot and he tells him, "I don't want to do this in front of your daughter." Yeah, that's probably the most Batman scene ever that I've seen on film, and it's probably like my favorite like Batman moment. Well, not my favorite Batman moment, but it's definitely like in my top 5 favorite Batman moments in the live action movies. Anyway, getting back to my Suicide Squad on my Tumblr, as I said, the characters / performances were great. Are great. The last thing that I really enjoyed was the little amazing teases they show, like seeing Harley in her classic costume. I honestly didn't see that coming, and also a cameo from a Justice League member. Like, what a nice treat, man. Okay, yeah, that I didn't see coming. I'm sure no one saw that coming, but beforehand, I had heard about that Harley Quinn was going to have multiple costume changes, but in the movie it doesn't really show it. She doesn't really have costume changes in the movie, but that little scene where she is in her classic outfit blew my mind. But I gotta say, as much as I love seeing that scene, I am kind of glad that wasn't her costume. She didn't wear that costume in the whole movie, because while I do feel some costumes can work on live action, others not so much, and I feel like Harley Quinn, that's a great example of why, as much as I love seeing it for 5 seconds, great. But to see it through the whole movie kind of looks kind of goofy to me, at least. So, and the Justice League cameo, The Flash. Honestly, from what I've seen from the Justice League trailer and that cameo, I feel like he is probably going to be my favorite live-action Flash. Because it's very... first of all, that whole Justice League trailer very much reminded me of the Bruce Timm Justice League animated cartoon. It very much reminded me of that. And if that's their inspiration from that cartoon, great. I cannot wait. But yeah, the Ezra Miller Flash cameo... that was my reaction. So, the first time I saw it, just, so great. Getting back to my review, as with most movies, there are things I didn't like, and if these weren't the problems you had with the movie, that's totally fine with me. It's all opinion, so don't get butthurt, okay? Okay, good. First thing, the villain. Overall, the plan is pretty generic, and it's Along with the villain... The last battle, it felt so simple to beat the villain. Why not take out the bigger threat than deal with the minor threats? Come on. And what I'm talking about is, in the movie, is the main bad guy and whatnot. And bad woman, actually. Bad villain. And she has a brother her brother and Enchantress are just wanting to destroy the Earth. What I'm saying when it comes to dealing with the bigger problem, the minor problem is not the henchman, but I mean, why not take out Enchantress first, then take out the brother? Because the brother just he's not quick at all. He's not fast at all. So yeah, that's what I mean with it. But yeah, the villain, Enchantress as the villain, I didn't really like, because it just didn't make sense, and she was getting too jiggy with it, But anyways, getting back to my review on my Tumblr, my last problem with the movie, too much humor. Look, I enjoyed the humor, but honestly, you don't need humor in every scene. Hate to compare, but they're gonna have humor. They should do what Marvel does. Have some humor and make it subtle. Yeah, that was kind of a really weird thing. As I said, I loved the humor. I did. But it was so weird that every scene felt like there was a humor part. Sure, there were some minor scenes that didn't have humor, but overall, it felt just didn't really sit well with me. I don't know what it was, but yeah, the humor was really weird to see. I was why is there so much humor? Oh my god! I know it's it's a fun movie as it is, but there's so much humor. What's going on? But yeah, getting back to my review, overall, I enjoyed the movie. So I give this movie an 8 out of 10 or 4 out of 5. So yeah, that's Suicide Squad. And if I'm going to be honest, I loved it more than Batman v Superman. Yeah, as crazy as it sounds, I love it more than Batman v Superman. Alrighty, so last thing I'm going to talk about is Doctor Strange. Now, I saw this Tuesday, on Election Day. Huh, how funny. Alright, Doctor Strange. I didn't write anything down, but here's what I'm going to say about Doctor Strange. It's great. I really, really enjoyed it. Like, I never had any doubts that, I wasn't gonna, Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. Great. He's very much like Tony Stark, but he's more of an asshole than Tony Stark, I feel, because there's a scene in the movie where, his hands get crushed and he's talking to, who is it, the nurse that's in the trailer, and apparently they were a couple, and, Stephen Strange is trying to get all this help, looking for ways to fix his hands and whatnot. And the nurse comes, his ex, comes in and tells him, you just need to, you need to calm down. You're you don't have any money left to rebuild your hands and whatnot. And so he just goes off on her like crazy, basically you thought, I don't need your compassion or whatever. I don't need all of this stuff. Basically making her feel like shit because he feels like shit and whatnot. He's very much, he's a very arrogant asshole in this movie. And honestly, it's pretty nuts. Oh man. But yeah, besides that, I think first off, where he gets his hands destroyed in the movie, fucking ow, dude. There's one part where they actually show his hands getting crushed. Yeah, and it was just holy shit. It's very, it's, terrifying as hell. But yeah, I love Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One. I think she was really, really badass, and she dies at the end, but she has a nice conversation with Doctor Strange when they're both in their aura and whatnot. They have this nice little conversation of because in the movie she takes the reason why she's it's mentioned that she's lived so long, and the reason why she's been alive for I don't know, hundreds or thousands of years, just because she's been taking energy from the dark universe, and that keeps her alive and whatnot. And she finally is you know what, I can't anymore. She's I'm done. She leaves it all to Stephen Strange, and they have this nice moment before the Ancient One basically dies, and it's just it's nice, and it's basically she's telling him it's not all about you. There's so much more. When it comes to responsibility, there's so much more. And honestly, I was in tears. I had water. I wasn't crying, but my eyes were so watery. It was just so emotional. It was so great. What else? Oh, I love when at the end it's he has to face Dormammu at the end, because there's two villains. You got God, I can't remember his name. Caecilius. There's Caecilius is the main bad guy that you see in the trailers, and then you got Dormammu at the end, and that's where Dormammu basically lives in the dark energy and whatnot, and they're basically trying to destroy all three of the sanctum places. There's one in China, one in London, I think, and one in New York. And obviously, Doctor Strange takes up New York in the end, but they're trying to stop. They're basically trying to stop the dark universe from taking over, destroying the Japan Sanctum Sanctorum. I think that's what it's called. And so Doctor Strange goes up into the dark universe or energy. I can't remember what it's called. And basically, in the dark energy, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And again, spoilers. I mean, I pretty much said this in the beginning. But anyways, he goes in, and he has the time gem. And basically, time gem doesn't really exist in it. And he basically, gets himself, killed over and over and over again. Basically puts a time loop on it. And it's just, it's so great. And it's just oh, wow, that's how far he's willing to go. Because time does not exist where Dormammu lives. In that universe. And so that was great. Overall, Doctor Strange is great. I really loved it. The visuals are crazy. I would honestly see this movie while high. But I probably won't. But, yeah, that's one of those movies that I feel I would love to see it while I'm high. But, yeah, the visuals, man, they were not fucking around. They said this is going to be a very trippy movie, and honestly, it didn't let me down at all. And especially the way they fight when the visuals go on, just so great. Baron Mordo, that was great. I mean, in the movie, he's very much, he was once a student of the Ancient One, and he now trains Stephen Strange. And I love how they build him up towards the end, where he's we can't, I can't do this anymore, because he always thought that, there are some things you can't mess with magic and whatnot. And so by the end, he feels betrayed by the Ancient One, because she's been living all this time using the dark energy and whatnot. And I love that they set him up to be a bad guy, a bad villain for the next Doctor Strange movie. And it's just, it's so great. Also, the end credit scene with Thor. Oh my gosh, so there, it's basically, you've seen the movie. He basically, Thor comes to him, needs to find his father, and, and Doctor Strange is okay, so if I help you, father, you and Loki will go back to Asgard. And Thor's yep. And so he's alright, let's do this. And so does that mean we're gonna get some sort of scene where Doctor Strange helps Thor find Odin? That's gotta be it, because, I can't wait to see that. So yeah, Doctor Strange, honestly, I loved it. So, yeah. So that's all I got for this episode. So, hopefully, I mean, if you stuck around for this, spoilers, I'm sorry. So yeah, that's Spoiler Appetite for this week. I'm Tristan.